All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nishant Bhardwaj. I'm an Ironman certified coach, and welcome to the Sports Nutrition and Recovery Masterclass. Before I get into any of the details, let me quickly give you a quick background on how we'll move in the next 2.5 hours. So you will be learning a lot about sports nutrition and how it is different from the regular nutrition. You will be learning about what to eat before your workouts, during your workouts, and after your workouts. And you will be also learning about exactly what are the elements that you should be focusing on, which I'll be taking you through, how much quantity you should be consuming. I will give you some general guidelines as well, and which you can start applying in your day-to-day workouts, day-to-day life. Uh, Apart from that, we will also be discussing about recovery. What does recovery mean? It goes way beyond just warm-ups and cool downs. What are the recovery rituals that I, as a coach, recommend? What are the things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to become a better athlete, avoid injuries, and then there are a couple of bonus things that we will be discussing towards the end of the masterclass. I want this session to be a power pack session where, I don't want to give you a lot of gyan, which is non-actionable. So I would want to keep this discussion action oriented and pointed so that you learn something and you start applying it. At the end of the day, any coach or teacher or gurus and various influencers can tell you 10 different things. Most of them might be right, some of them might be wrong, but it's about getting into the rhythm of it, execution of it. And nutrition is one of the most important element for any endurance event. It could be swimming, cycling, running, it could be triathlons, it could be marathons. So nutrition is also something that you have to practice every single day, and so is recovery. And these two elements, I tell you, are the most overlooked ones. There would be people, coaches or athletes alike, who would continue to work on fancy gadgets. They would work on volumes. They would work on odd hours to work out. They will do 10 different things, but these two elements, which are the most important pillars of any training, that are overlooked. Hence, this masterclass. Now we are about, we had a total registrations of about 25 people. Some are traveling, and so they will be joining us later. But I also want this session to be interactive. So what I will be doing is, what I've done is I have created a small deck for you. Some of the things you can take a screenshot also. Feel free. You can ask questions. Maybe you can ask the questions in the comment section, and feel free to jump in. Any specific question that comes to your mind about that particular topic, feel free to ask, and I will also be answering all your questions at the end of the session as well. I want this session, again, just reiterating, let's keep it a one-to-one kind of a thing where you actually learn something new rather than just being all the gyan which is already available on YouTube. So it's not going to be that. It's going to be action oriented and something that you can actually imbibe in your day-to-day training. All right. So I'll just pull out the deck, and by the way, feel free to give a quick introduction if you want to unmute yourself. Talk about what you do quickly and which location have you joined in from today. You can start, Chandresh.
Hi guys, so I'm Chandresh Dedia from Mumbai. I've been a half marathon runner most of my life, close to 12 years now. Applied for this event in 2020, yes, and then since 2020 and 21 got postponed. I think I've got a direct entry for this 22 event. Already started all different kind of let's say running, swimming, cycling. So far no structure whatsoever, but trying to see what best I could learn from this masterclass, and then going forward from there, we have a group of us from Mumbai who'll be participating.
Sure. Sugu, you want to go?
Hi, I'm based out of Bangalore, and my background is like I've done like couple of Olympic triathlon levels. So now my passion is to do the 70.3. So that's my passion. So I'm working with Nishant on the training aspect, and apart from the triathlon, I've did couple of treks in Himalayas. And I've not done a full marathon as such. Like it's like kind of I'm not that much into running, so just more of into swimming and cycling, and just trying to get to up to speed. Like I know I can do that, like, but the kind of like you have that cutoff timings and all, right? So that is something like, because my other like after the 70.3 is like couple of years to train for a full Ironman. So these are things like which a couple of years back when I started doing things, so I felt happy. So that's where I thought like, okay, this is exactly my passion, because when you are very passionate to do something, so then you put your full effort irrespective of, because I failed a couple of times, long gap. So then I'm not just left it like that. So I'm again back to start. So that's where keeping me to back into the track.
All right. All right. So what we'll do is we'll quickly tell our names, location, and what sport we are getting into, so that everyone gets quick time. Amit, you want to go?
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Amit Pange from Mumbai and would like to do an Ironman event. I have contacted Nishant for it. Recently undergone a surgery, so just recovering from that. Thank you very much.
Sure. Ajay?
Hi, this is Ajay. I'm based in Gurgaon. Have been a runner for 8-9 years. In between, there was a break, so I was training on my own, not regular. I've done few marathons, full marathons, many half marathons, some other running events, a little bit of cycling. But right now, getting back on marathons and eventually ultras. Because running is something I really love. So that's it.
Awesome. Prateek?
Hi everyone, this is Prateek. I was into cycling, or I've been into cycling for close to 9 to 10 years now. Done BRMs, 200 and 300, but then saw a lot of fatalities or injuries right in front of me on the road, so stopped doing the BRMs. But cycling is still a passion, and I do it in a contained environment. Picked up running during pandemic to start losing weight, and it quite helped. Lost 15 kgs during the pandemic. And swimming is new for me, so still grappling, and I know Nishant is after my case for getting serious about swimming, so working on that, Nishant. So that's quickly about me from Mumbai.
Awesome. Aditya, you want to go? Partner in crime with Prateek.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Aditya Dagi. I'm based out of Navi Mumbai Seawoods. So never been an athlete. Always running has been just for fun. Never done any structured workout as such ever in my life. So this is my pursuit for a structured program towards being an Ironman. 70.3 is what I'm targeting at Goa for November.
Awesome.
And Nishant is helping me out with that.
Awesome. Manu, you want to go?
Hey everyone, Manu this side. I'm based out of Bombay. Me and my life partner have been with Nishant for I think the last 3 years. He's been coaching us off and on. I was prepping for an Ironman, but due to a medical exigency, I had to drop out of that. Currently prepping for cycling to Khardungla, starting from Manali in this July.
Awesome. Santosh, you want to go?
Yes, Nishant. I think you can see me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Santosh, and I'm from Bangalore. I've done some few BRMs as well as half marathons, and next I'm targeting for Desaru 70.3. So yeah. So hopefully I get some nutrition tips here, and then improve my training parts from there.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hi, Deepak. You want to go and give your introduction? Deepak, I'll give you his introduction. He's a commander in the Indian Navy, and he's also done a few 70.3 races.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Commander Deepak Elawat, presently posted at INS Shivaji Lonavala. I have been with Nishant since 2019 Ironman Goa, and since then I was not a good runner. I've started running in 2019, but yes, I was doing cycling and swimming since last 20 years. And along with Nishant, I've also become a certified Ironman coach, and I'm looking to participate in again 70.3 Ironman event as a relative. So hope to meet everyone in person in future. Thank you.
Sure. Komal, you want to go?
Hi, sorry, I was having lunch.
No problem.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Komal. I'm from Noida, and I've been into running, but not much into cycling and swimming. So, but now looking for the structured program for the triathlon. So I have participated in the triathlon Goa. So now I'm looking for the best of the suggestion for the nutrition and the plans for the triathlon.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Komal. Shashank.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Nishant. So my name is Shashank. I am based out of Helsinki, Finland, in the north of Europe, and I've participated, or like thanks to pandemic, the silver lining of it, I started running. Before that, my base was only in swimming. So last year I finished Ironman 70.3 in Tallinn. This year I registered for full one. So I've been training significantly. Like I can do the cycling and swimming; those don't tire me in a way. So I can do it within my pace in the comfort zone. But running is something which I'm really like not comfortable with, especially because in the 70.3, I basically when I finished my gels, I couldn't stomach the gels or energy drinks which were placed there. So I basically did like after 5 kilometers, I did running and walking without drinking anything, only based on water. So I want to fix
all
that.
your answers will be questions will be answered today, Shashank.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anjan, you want to go quickly?
Hi, this is Mukulika. I'm Anjan's wife.
Okay.
Actually, Anjan is participating in a 200 kilometers Randonneur right now.
Oh, okay.
He asked me to watch the session and take notes for him. So Anjan has done 70.3 in Goa, the first one that was held. And just this month, he has done a 70.3 in Vietnam. So, and now preparing for Ironman Astana. So this Randonneur was a part of his training only.
Yeah.
So, I'm enjoying the session, although I'm not an athlete or a triathlete, but enjoying the session and taking notes for him.
That's the best way to be a head crew.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome. I hope I'll be able to answer some of his questions as well.
Sure.
Santosh is back. Santosh Pawar. All right. We have Pritika as well. Hey, Pritika, you want to go?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Nishant's wife and his head crew based out of Bangalore. Here, basically to get the motivation and maybe start someday and start with the Olympic distance and then maybe 70.3. I think Nishant will be the happiest that day.
Absolutely.
All the best, everyone.
Pritika, Mayor sends the best wishes, Pritika.
Thank you so much.
All right, then. Welcome once again, everyone. That was a quick introduction. So it sort of helps each individual, to sort of know that you're not alone. It's a journey. Everyone is doing their own fight. Someone is out there running. Someone is cycling across the world. In fact, we have participants from across the country and the world. We have a couple of participants who will be joining in later from, Toronto and New Zealand. So it's a good bunch of people, but what unites us all is the love of endurance sports, and hence hopefully some of the things that we'll be discussing today will add value to it. So I'll request everyone to put themselves on mute, and I'm going to share my screen. There are a few slides, but don't get bored. We'll keep discussing in between as well. All right. Let's begin. All right. So my video is on Spotlight. Hopefully everyone can see. All right. Is my screen visible to you guys? Just a thumbs up or
yeah, Nishant, good to go.
All right, cool. So yeah, in nutrition and recovery masterclass. A bit about Trifantry. Trifantry is the platform, where we are promoting the love of endurance sports by science-based methodologies and backed by data. So all our trainees actually undergo training based on data and science, in not just basis fields, and it's all customized. And it's for triathlons, marathons, and lifestyle in general. Our motto is train, endure, conquer, which means that it's a philosophy for life, meaning that if you have to conquer any of your goals, be it professional, personal, or fitness, start training for it, endure through the pain, the self-discovery, the methods, the strategies, the tactics, all of that to become a better person and eventually conquer. So that's the motto that we live by: train, endure, conquer. So yes, like I've already told you, it's obviously we'll be discussing nutrition, in race nutrition, before, during, after general nutrition guidelines, and then we will segue into recovery segment of the discussion today. A bit about me. If some of you already know, some of you don't. I've been running for over 16 years now. I've done more than 100. Actually, this number is close to 200 now. And triathlon is relatively new to me, but I've been coaching for about 3 years now. So I'm also learning every single day, and hence also imparting knowledge through content and masterclasses and all of this, and coaching. All right, so let's quickly deep dive into what is nutrition versus in-race nutrition. So every day you wake up, you start your day with maybe some water. Some people have tea, some people have coffee, and then you have your breakfast, then maybe some snacks, then lunch and dinner. All of that which you have been doing every single day throughout your life is essentially part of nutrition. And this is obviously a huge topic. Nutrition meaning everything under the sun which you put into your mouth, including solids as well as liquids. They are divided into multiple areas. Let's say some are known as carbs, some are fats, some are proteins, some are glucose, some are sugars, all of that. So there are macronutrients that we all consume. But in-race nutrition, or essentially sports nutrition, that is completely different, because what happens is during an endurance event, your body is utilizing different types, different sources of nutrition, which is essentially carbohydrates and a bit of fats. So while they say that proteins are important, yes, that's right. But they say that let's say fiber is important for your gut health. Protein is important for your muscle health. Fats are important for overall well-being, the upkeep of muscle, building block of muscles. Carbs are essentially important for your energy systems, right? All of that is absolutely correct. And when you're not racing, when you're not training, when you're not doing any sort of physical activity or workout, those are the areas that you have to essentially take care of. And these are also areas which are responsible for your fat gain, fat loss, muscle building, reconstruction after an injury, all of those areas, right? So that all falls into nutrition segment. In race nutrition, it's completely different. When you're running your half marathon or a full marathon or an Ironman 70.3 or a full Ironman or a BRM or a ultra swimming event, you are working out anywhere between 2 hours to 17 hours. There are ultra events in which you are actually working out for 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours also. There are people who do it for 100 hours also, non-stop. They are doing 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers of running, 1,000 kilometers of cycling, and so on. When you're doing any of these activities, 2 hours to let's say 100 hours, you are utilizing different sets, different types of energy systems in your body, which are run on carbs. So let's say, for example, carbs meaning which are digested by your body instantly, meaning that they should be able to, your body should be able to break them down within 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and they should be able to generate carbohydrates for you for it to get converted into glucose and then eventually into energy, so that you keep going on. But what happens is, let's say you consume a lot of protein bars, or you consume let's say fat-based products, let's say some kind of a chicken piece, or maybe even eggs and all during your workout. Your body will not be able to break them down in 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because you need the energy right away, because you're running, cycling, swimming, all of that. These things like fat or complex proteins, they are broken down in the body anywhere between 4 hours to 6 hours, or even 24 hours if you are having red meat or fish or various other types of protein-based substances. What good is it if you consume that kind of product? It's not going to give you any energy. Yes, fat will give you some kind of energy over a long period of time. So if you are doing a 10-hour, 20-hour or 30-hour kind of a race, 40 hours, in between your meals, you will obviously consume some fat-based products also, but always focus on consuming carb-based nutrients when you're consuming. I will be taking the examples in the next slide, but this is essentially the difference between nutrition and in-race or sports nutrition. All right, so quickly, summarizing again, nutrition is what you consume on a day-to-day basis, right from waking up in the morning to sleeping at night, everything in between, your teas, coffees, fats, proteins, carbs, fiber, all of that. And then you also consume liquid calories through, let's say, again, tea, coffee, lassi, or whiskey and various other things, or colas and all of that. That's liquid calories. In-race nutrition, on the other hand, is something which you consume, which is broken down within the body within 15 to 20 minutes to 30 minutes. These are instant carb sources. It could be like gels, it could be hydration-based products, it could be BCAA-based products, but also has a high carbohydrates. I'll be taking the examples in the next slide, but that's essentially the difference between nutrition and a sports nutrition. All right, so we will be focusing on sports nutrition and exactly what it takes to keep going hours and hours and hours again without having cramps, without having to go through those indigestion, without having gastric issues and so on. All right, so some of the components which we will be discussing now in sports nutrition. These are some of the elements that we will be discussing. Sweat rate is important, then hydration and gels, then carbs and fats, and general guidelines that I will give you so that you can start applying and seeing the differences. Some of the elements, in fact, just before moving to the next slide about sweat rate, some of the good sports nutrition elements that you can have are banana. A banana is one of the best products that I recommend for any endurance athlete. You should consume a banana about 20 to 30 minutes before your workout. If you have the luxury or the space to store banana or any other things on your bike, on yourself, then you can also keep consuming 1 banana every single hour. Then some people like to have peanuts also. Peanuts also are high in fats, but they also have a good element of carbs. And if you can have salted peanuts over a period of time, that also helps. It takes slightly more time to get broken down, but it's also a good source of building up your energy systems, especially for people who are doing long rides. Peanuts will give you sustained energy for some time, whereas carbs will give you short burst of energy as quickly as you consume them, and then 30 to 40 minutes it gets absorbed and that it is completely consumed by the stomach. Some other elements which you can consume, obviously gels. There are various organizations like Fasten Up or GU or Unimed. Gels typically contain 30 to 40 grams, 45 grams of carbohydrates in it. So essentially, as a thumb rule, we'll be discussing again, but you can have 1 to 2 gels per hour to keep going, because then, gel is a processed form of carbohydrate in a way that it goes down quickly through your esophagus down to your stomach, and while running or while swimming, before swimming or during rides, it is very difficult sometimes to chew, because sometimes you're panting, you're trying to take as much breathing as possible, you are not able to sort of chew as much. If there is a solid food, you'll not be able to chew, but a gel will quickly go down your mouth, and it gets absorbed in the body within 15 minutes. Most of the gels get absorbed in within 15 to 20 minutes, and hence they start giving energy within 15 to 20 minutes. It's an efficient way of consuming in-race nutrition or sports nutrition, as we call it. Then there are many other bars, there are chocolates, there are yoga bars, there are nutrition bars, various small little bars. They are up to 50 grams of mostly carbs and sugar and some fat as well. It is important to choose, sports bar which have low viscosity. Otherwise, what happens is when you are running or you're storing them in your tri-suit or your bike and all, they have a tendency, if you let's say carry a Perk or a Kit Kat or various other types of chocolates or Cadbury, they tend to melt and they will spoil your entire attire, sports clothing, or your bike as well. So it's important to carry a nutrition bar which has low viscosity, which has higher staying power in higher temperatures also. Chocolates like Cadbury and all start melting at about 10 to 15 degrees, 20 degrees, and at 20-25 they completely sort of disintegrate. So it spoils up everything. So it's important to choose these kind of bars, and you have to try and test it. So these are some of the guidelines, some of the examples what you can start consuming in your sports training. Now we'll move to a very important part of the entire sports nutrition, which is sweat rate, which is how much hydration you should be consuming per hour. This is very important, guys, to pay attention here, because a lot of people start complaining that after 1 hour, 2 hours or 3 hours, or sometimes at the fag end of the race, they start cramping. This is essentially because of two elements. One is hydration, and second one would be salts. So these are two elements that we'll be discussing, which will help you to cure all your problems that you might face regarding cramps and pain in the stomach. Some people complained about pain in the stomach also. So those are things that get solved with these two elements. So sweat rate. Okay, this is something that you can screenshot, but there are simpler you can Google also how to calculate my sweat rate. Sweat rate calculators are also there. It will ask you 3 to 4 values that you have to give. Essentially, what is a sweat rate? Sweat rate is कि आप 1 घंटा जब exercise करते हो या 2 घंटा exercise करते हो, how much water are you losing out of your body, and so that becomes element that you have to take care. Let's say if I run, my weight is about 82, 83 kilos. When I run for 1 hour, I end up sweating for about 700 ml of sweat, so my sweat rate becomes about 700. So that means I should be consuming close to that, as close to that amount, so that I do not become deficit of salts and water in my body. As soon as you start bringing down the hydration levels in your body by 10 to 15%, you start cramping, because your body will not be able to function and your muscles will start contracting and sort of causing problem. It's a signal from the body that you have to stop and hydrate. But when you start cramping, it's already too late, and you, regardless of how much you start consuming at that point, you've already missed the bus. So hence it's important that we know our sweat rate. So it's a small exercise. So what you do is essentially note down your body weight before you go out for a workout. Stand on a treadmill, a weight machine, put down the weight, check your weight before the exercise. And then once you complete the exercise, you again check your weight. You'll be able to find, let's say, some number. It varies anywhere between 400 to 700 to 800 also. Some people who are very sweaty can end up sweating about 800 to 900 ml also. Then you add the amount of fluids you consume during that hour. Let's say 100 आपका weight था before the workout. Then आपका after the workout आपका weight हो गया 99, that is 1 kg. Then आपने during your workout you consumed about 300 ml of hydration. So you have to add that. Let's say 300 ml 1 kg में से वो minus करोगे आप, और उसके बाद आप जो एक वैल्यू आएगी आपका टोटल स्वेट लॉस की, लेट्स से 700 ग्राम्स, आप उसको अपने टाइम के साथ डिवाइड कर दोगे, तो आपको एक स्वेट रेट मिल जाएगा कि 1 घंटे में आप कितना. सो फॉर एग्जांपल इन दिस केस दिस इज 700 milliliters per hour, meaning you end up sweating 700 ml per hour. Now a point to be noted here that during winter time your sweat rate goes down because you sweat less. The temperatures, the environmental temperatures are lower, so it could be almost 60 to 70% of your sweat rate in summertime. People who are living in the north right now and burning, the temperatures right now are 43, 44, 45 also, but they are going out and working out. Or people who are living in tropical areas like maybe Mumbai or Goa or Kolkata, where the humidity levels are huge. The temperatures are not very high, probably 35, 36, but humidity is so high you end up sweating too much, right? In this case also your sweat rate would be much higher, even higher than drier areas like north. So that's why it is important that everyone should do this exercise. Feel free, अगर ये आपको ये screenshot अगर complex लग रहा है, just Google कर सकते हैं and you'll find sweat rate calculators very easy, just 4 values. But if all of this again sounds complex to you, a general rule is that आप 600 to 700 ml hydration लेंगे per hour for every hour that you are running. So let's say you are doing a full marathon and let's say you completed in 4 hours. So you should be planning for at least 3 liters of hydration during that marathon. How do you plan that? See, 2 things. Any race will give you 2 things. One is they will tell you कि आपकी hydration stations कितने दूर है. कभी-कभी वो 3 to 5 kilometers में होते हैं, कभी 2 kilometers में होते हैं, कभी 1 kilometers में होते हैं. So meaning if you run 1 kilometer at 5.5 ka pace, so you know that every 5 minutes you will be encountering a hydration station. So you can continue to plan in a way that every 10 minutes you can get some hydration during the race. Okay. Second idea which I recommend and which I use is that I don't rely too much on different race ka jo hydration stations hota hai, because I'll tell you why. One, हर रेस के स्पॉन्सर्स अलग अलग होते हैं. सो जो मैं नॉर्मली products use karta hu, they may not be available during that race, right? Some companies will go with Fasten Up, some will go with the Enerzal, some will just have water. Some people will not even have hydration mix. So, some people will have goo, if you go to some foreign countries, they will have different types of hydration mixes, which may not go best for you, right? Because you have not practiced that kind of hydration mix for yourself. Hence, what I do is I carry a tube of a Reload, or maybe, I normally use Reload, Fasten Up Reload. It has 20 tablets. So I know that every 1 hour I have to add 2 tablets in a bottle of 600 to 700 sipper जो होता है. पानी तो मिल ही जाएगा हर जगह से. पहली बॉटल मैं कैरी करता हूँ. First 11 kilometers के लिए I have enough hydration, and उसके बाद I keep taking like 30 seconds break just to refill my water bottle and pop 2 Reload tablets into the bottle, and then I know कि 1 hour के लिए अब मैं set हूँ. So मेरा 1 hour की planning हो गई, and then what I do is I break it down to 2 kilometer segments, because I know like for my speed I will be able to do 2 kilometers in about 10.5 minutes. So every 2 kilometers I will keep sipping 100 ml of hydration. So क्या होगा कि over a period of 1 hour I know that I will be finishing up at least 600 ml of hydration. Ideally you should finish the entire bottle of, normally sippers जो होते हैं वो 700 ml के होते हैं. So you should look at consuming anywhere between 500 to 700 ml and consume hydration every 10 minutes. So just make it a rule कि हर 2 किलोमीटर पे 100 ml मुझे पीते जाना है. उससे क्या होगा कि आपका sweat rate कभी भी breach नहीं होगा, and you will never cramp. All right, so that's sweat rate and hydration. One question now will come to you is, what is hydration? आप जो hydration की बात कर रहे हो, do you mean only water? Are you meaning Gatorade? Are you meaning Enerzal or ORS or various other types of mixes? So hydration is essentially the glucose mix or Reload mix or Unived का powder होता है या कुछ भी, whatever you like in your particular training. You have to add that in water bottle and keep that, and that water becomes your hydration mix. If you just have water, empty water without any salts in it, without any sodium, potassium and carbs in it, you will start dissolving all your body ka sodium and potassium, and you will start bloating, as well as you will again start cramping. So it is very important that your water bottle should actually have enough of these Reloads or Enerzals or Unived ka jo hydration mix aata hai. That's very important. So do not overhydrate, or even this much hydration with plain water is actually bad for you. This I'm talking from a long distance perspective, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 7 hours. If it's just a 1 hour workout, water is fine. But again, what happens is, if you are an endurance athlete, you have to keep showing up every single day. So what happens is, if you do not consume any hydration, or you just go empty stomach, or you feel कि अरे यार ये सब आजकल के बच्चे technical सा चीजें करते रहते हैं, they can keep consuming so many of these things. What happens is your recovery time will go up, because you have lost so much sweat, so much salts in your body, that it will take so much extra effort for you to, after your workout is over, you'll have to go have your normal food, and that still not be able to be enough for you to recover quickly. Hence, these things make you efficient. These are latest science, right? There are people who have been running marathons and they've done Ironmans having beer also. There are people who have done so many great things on empty stomach or without water. Or there are people who do, one example that comes to my mind is these Bol Bum worshippers. They run 100 kilometers barefoot, carrying lotas and baltis, and that entire religious kit, 100 kilometers. Most of them are actually fasting also. So obviously there are people doing amazing things, mind-boggling things also. but you are an athlete, and as an athlete, your objective is to finish the race, and finish the race in a way that race or training session in a way that you do it efficiently, and you also recover while you're doing it. If you ignore these things, what happens is you're putting undue strain on your body. So it becomes difficult for the lost time jo hota hai na, that extra effort, extra pressure that you've put on your body will require another 6 to 12 hours just to be able to complete that deficit. So it's important to sort of be efficient. Otherwise, I mean, feel free, become a bullbum and do your 100 kilometers. Or there are people, examples, people go to Vaishno Devi also, but we know most of the people, they come back and then they are on the bed for 5-7 days, or have those issues because people generally don't train, and then they also don't hydrate well or have carbs and all of these things that we are discussing today. So hence, to keep cracking every single day, follow the rules of hydration and sweat rate. All right, moving on. If you have any questions, keep putting them in the comment section as well, or write them down, or if you want to ask right away. I thought, we can, as we are going with the flow, we can keep discussing and then keep visiting this again. Feel free. I mean.
So Nishant, I had one question. I've heard two versions of the intake of sugar during the race.
Yeah.
Right. What's your take on that?
So actually, we have a section after this, which is we are covering types of sugar and carbohydrates, what energy systems are required. I'll actually cover that and then I'll answer this question.
Okay, sure.
All right. Any more questions on sweat rate or hydration?
Nishant, so as a general rule, 500 to 700 ml is like per hour of training or per hour of race. Is it okay? I mean, as a general rule, rather than just calculating and checking, is this okay? I mean, we can go with the 500 to 700 ml per hour.
So again, this is a very generic advice. May or may not, like I said, your body weight, your the location of your workouts, it varies. But as a general rule, if you have a 700 ml sipper with you, just consume that and you'll be fine. What happens is, जब आप fresh होते हो ना, first 1 hour, 2 hours, तो सारी चीजें, your mental faculties are working well. When you reach your 3rd hour, 4th hour, 5th hour, or 7th hour, or 10th hour, a lot of your general faculties stop working, because one is that there is a fatigue also, and second is the potassium levels in your body also start going up and down. So if you have certain rules which you have practiced with ना, तो वो चीजें हमेशा याद रहती हैं as a memory function, muscle memory की तरह, कि अरे हाँ, मुझे ये हर 10 मिनट में मुझे ये पीना चाहिए. So then that's why you sorted. So that's why I'm telling you, when you're doing longer races, longer distances, there are people who do 30, 40, 50 hour races also. Just imagine, without sleep, without so many things. But अगर habit है तो you'll continue. But अगर नहीं है habit है तो फिर आप 2-3 घंटे के बाद सारी calculations भूल जाते हैं. आपका दिमाग 5-7 टाइप की calculation कर रहा होता है कि अरे मेरा पेस क्या चल रही है, मेरे को कितना करना है, कितना डिस्टेंस है, हार्ट रेट कितनी हो गई है, सॉल्ट कितना लिया था. Eventually everything becomes jumbled.
And so, does this also have, sorry.
Yeah,
does this also have an impact on the heart rate? Consuming less of water?
Everything does, yes. Not directly, but indirectly, because if you're not consuming enough, again, correcting you, not water, hydration. Indirectly, it will have, because let's say if you are consuming less hydration, which has less salts in it, what will happen is your potassium levels will go down, again, which is important for your muscle functioning. And also it helps in regulating your thought processes and all. So you might have seen, I'm not, I don't want to make any bold statements here, but you might have seen certain cases where, after certain races, people have not practiced, but they show up for a marathon and end up finishing it, but eventually collapse, or in worst cases also have some kind of stroke and all. That primarily happens because of loss of sodium and loss of potassium first, and also sodium, because your heart is also a muscle, and if you're starving it with your salts and hydration and potassium, it also starts becoming it contracts too much, and it becomes difficult for it to sort of come back. But again, this is this is just based out of experience. I would not there would be science behind it. I don't want to put specifically say it out loud, but yes, it does for sure. You'll be more fatigued there. By default, your heart rate will go up. All right, moving on. There was someone else also, I think, asking a question.
Yes, this is Shashank. Hi, Nishant.
Yeah.
I've tried to calculate my sweat rate also, but what is the other side? In race, when we are feeling bloated up, is it okay to be more on the hydration part? And what are the tell signs, and are there any immediate corrections that we can do? During cycling, it's comfortable, right? I can stay longer, or I end up finishing the gels early on because of this habit of drinking or taking it every 10-20 minutes. But running is something where I can't take in, and I don't know how to get rid of that feeling when I took up too much of hydration.
All right. It's a fairly long question. I'll try to answer in two parts. One is the bloating which you experience during your race, specifically in your races, because of two primary reasons. Number one is what you consume before your race happened. That is the night before and the morning, before the race. If you consume too much bread, if you consume too much dairy products, if you consume too much spicy products, that tends to have an effect on your body in the morning after. Number one, because you're already tensed about your particular race, so you have those nerves and all have already sort of building up in your body. That extra level of cortisol is also already building in your body because of extra tension that you're taking about the race. But you're also not helping the case by consuming all of these 3-4 types of products which I just mentioned. That makes your body bloated when you consume too much hydration during your workout, during your race. Number two, it can also be because probably you consume too much salt. There is a guidance for salt consumption also. Normally, runners have this tendency, even cyclists I've seen have a tendency of only consuming carbs and hydration, but salt is an important element which is missed by these two category of people. Triathletes, on the other hand, tend to sort of take care of their salt consumption. We'll come to the salt segment also. But if you have too much salt or too little salt, your body has a tendency of storing too much of the plain water. Agar aap bahut zyada plain water pee rahe ho, then also you'll have issue. Or if you are hydrating too much, let's say I gave you a guidance of 500 to 700, but you are consuming 1 liter or 1.5 liters. That's also gonna be stored in the body, which will not go out so easily. So overhydration or underhydration or hydration without salts is equally, responsible for your bloating part of it. Lastly, which is specific to you that you are not able to consume during run, that, my friend, you have to practice. There's no go consume it during your practice runs. If you have to stop, have water and then start, if you are not able to consume while running. But that's something that you have to practice. And I just want to add one important point here is that most people think that when they are running a half marathon, full marathon, they have to run non-stop. They don't want to stop. If some people have created this myth, and that we have been hearing from so many days or so many years, that I don't stop, I finish it non-stop. Who cares? As long as you're hitting your time goals and you're taking breaks after 2, 3, 5 kilometers for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, helps your heart rate to go down. It helps you to gather your thoughts, consume your hydration or food. So it's okay to stop, every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, stop for 10 seconds, consume your water, consume your hydration, consume your food, and then start again. That's fine. You don't need to, you're not a Kipchoge or some other elite athletes who 10 seconds रुक जाएंगे तो उनका time नीचे आ जाएगा. You can be, and if you are, then that this advice is invalid for you. But it's okay, as long as even people running at a 3:30 marathon tend to stop 2-3 times during their race, so it's completely fine. Hope it answers the question.
Yes, got it. Thanks a lot. Right.
All right, moving to important segment, which is carbs. Carbs are nutritionists or people who are trying to lose fat. The C word, or the word which they'll tell you to stop. Carbs, in fact, carries a very negative connotation also in the world of nutrition or fat loss, or influencers or Instagrammers generally. People will always tell you ki अरे carbs छोड़ दो, अरे रोटी छोड़ दो, अरे चावल छोड़ दो, that you should not have this, don't have dosas, don't have idlis. All of these things are obviously high in carbs. But my friends, carbohydrates are an endurance athlete's best friend. Literally, just basis carbs, you can do any kind of races. And carbs, when consumed in the right quantities, right forms, can actually help you to become a better athlete as well. There are obviously some of it is a bit technical. There are monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are essentially easy to consume, easy to break down kind of glucose types. जो जैसे आपके इसमें fruits में होता है, fructose, like bananas or oranges or apples, these essentially, or papaya, these are monosaccharides which are not very complex carbs, so they are easily broken down. Your gels also, by the way, has a high volume of monosaccharides, so they get broken down in the body, and this is the important type of carbs which you should be focusing on, because this is the carb that you need to be able to become as an endurance athlete. This is your best friend, so that's how you should be consuming. There are disaccharides, again थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल, जैसे कि मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं या डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, या फिर थोड़े कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप्स की चॉकलेट्स होती हैं, तो ये उसके अंदर सुक्रोज होता है, या इवन फॉर दैट मैटर जूसेस जो होते हैं, रियल जूसेस एंड various type of active juices, they also have a lot of disaccharides. So some races you might have seen do give juices and all. They are not actually a very good way of consuming your carbohydrates, because it is slightly difficult for your stomach, which is running at 10 kilometers per hour, to break it down while you're running, and your stomach is also trying to break it down. So in these cases, अगर आप let's say लस्सी पी के जाओगे, या फिर रेस के दौरान लस्सी पियोगे, या फिर छाछ पियोगे, या फिर थोड़े से कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप के कार्ब्स होते हैं, या दूध के प्रोडक्ट्स पियोगे, while it might taste good and all to some people, especially North Indians or West Indians, but it will cause your stomach to have gastric issues. All right, so because क्या हो रहा है कि कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है ना, तो extra energy लगती है for these to break down and then also give you energy. Whereas monosaccharides, which I discussed, like papaya or banana or oranges or gels, these are easy to break down and they give you instant energy. Then the third, which are complex carbs, which are polysaccharides, are a big no-no. Like starch-based products होते हैं, काफी सारे चिकन और सॉलिड प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, एग्स वगैरह में भी, या फिर पराठा, या फिर मैदा बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स, दे आर वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर योर स्टमक टू ब्रेक डाउन, एंड हेंस इफ यू आर हैविंग लेट्स से लच्छा पराठा or some complex things before your race or during your race, then that's not going to help you, because your body will not be able to break it down. It will just stay there and probably also cause some gastric issues. Again, then there are certain types of fibers also. We'll not go deeper into it, but there are जैसे लोग long distance cycling के अंदर they also like to have खिचड़ीज or dals and all. it works for people who are going to be on the bike for 10 hours, 15 hours, because you will be able to have good fibers also, fat also, and carbs as well. But for a runner or a short distance half marathoner, or maybe even 70.3, this will not work for you. So this is a good mix of do's and don'ts. Of course, then there are alcohol-based products, beer. Some people like to have beer also while running or after their races. Not a good advice, guys. Alcohol by design, by structure, causes your body to become dehydrated, because for alcohol to be broken down, it would require extra amount of H2O for it to get oxidized. So you do not want to go in that direction, which is sapping more water from your body to break down. Some people will give you some advice that, beer is a good recovery product. It will help in relieving some of your pain and all that. Probably not a good advice. It will obviously probably numb your mental thought, but it will not help your body to recover at all. On the contrary, it will cause more harm. So stay away from alcohol based products for at least 6 to 12 hours till your body has a fair bit recovered. Of course, if you want to really celebrate and all, it's fine to pop half a beer or something just as a celebration, but as a thumb rule, I would recommend to avoid it. Now, coming to Ajay's question, two thought processes. Some old school thinking says that too much sugar is probably not good for you. Some people would also go fasting based runs. People end up going empty stomach for their long runs and all, just to make their bodies adapt basis purely water or some kind of hydration and not having anything the night before. Well, my thought process is to shock your body, to do it once in a while, it's fine. It's like intermittent fasting. If you do it for 10 days, 15 days, it's fine. But beyond that, your body starts becoming glucose resistant. What happens is it becomes difficult for your body to adapt it and consume it, become breakable so easily. So it's good. It's like fasting. Fasting really has those qualities in the body. It helps you to flush out all the toxins. It gives that stomach also rest. And if you can adapt to it, nothing like it, your energy systems will become efficient. But if you are looking at a 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour kind of a race, your energy systems will collapse and go through undue pressures and problems. So I would not recommend for a long distance race, but maybe for a 10K or 21K as an experimental basis, feel free, push your systems, try to see how it works out, and do it only in training sessions. But if you want to become an endurance athlete who does marathons, triathlons, or ultra events without glucose, monosaccharides especially, and disaccharides in long distance races, it is going to be very difficult for your body to be able to sustain. The recovery times will be much higher. There'll be undue pressures also during the race. Your body also depends on the intensity. So if you are working out at a high intensity, you would probably need fat-based products. But if you're the glucose-based products, if you're working out at a lower intensity, then your body will be utilizing fat-based in your body. But if you are starving your body too much, then eventually what happens is your systems will start shutting down. Again, there will be outliers to this theory. There are people, like I said, people who run 100 kilometers on fasting. Also, it works for some people. But as a general rule, let's stick to loving carbohydrates as much, contrary to the advice of nutritionists and all. Now, a general rule for you guys who are practicing for their marathons, triathlons, and long distance cycling. try to consume 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour during your race or practice. What does 60 to 90 grams look like? Well, a banana robusta is about 50 grams, 50 to 60 grams. So ideally in 1 hour, you can consume one banana. Like I said earlier, gel is about 40 to 50 grams, depending on which brand you're consuming. Some brands are like Fasten Up is about 35 grams. Unived has two types of gels. One is for the ultra endurance athletes. That is about 55-60 grams. The regular one is about 45 grams. So आप वो भी consume कर सकते हो. You can consume a mix of oranges. Depends, try different things. If you are doing training runs in your society or place where you can park your car, keep some different products. Dates is very good, although it's a disaccharide, but also it has a healthy mix of carbohydrates and fats, so it can help you to sustain. So 6 to 8 dates per hour is also excuse me, good enough. You can also try salted peanuts. You can try nutrition bars are usually 50 to 60 grams. If all of this sounds complex, just have 2 gels per hour. Every 30 minutes, have 1 gel and you are sorted. Then you don't have to worry about carrying so many things. Triathletes, you guys obviously have the luxury of carrying a food bag on your bike. तो आप उसमें आपकी मनपसंद की चीजें, but monosaccharides जो हमने अभी डिस्कस किया था वो कैरी कीजिए. Do not carry complex carbs. Carry something that you do enjoy, because what happens is too many gels, like gels are 4 to 5 gels खाने के बाद you start feeling क्या हो रहा है, just your taste becomes sour, too much sugar also. What a good practice is that you have 1 gel and then have empty glass of a glass of water. If you can find one, just plain water without hydration, that's also a good way to sort of gulp it down. So that's about carbs. Feel free to ask any questions on this. This is an important slide, so let's answer any of your questions.
Nishant, Mohit this side.
Hi, Mohit.
So now what I'm taking nowadays is your yoga bars or Unived bars, or there are some other kind of bars also available online, right? So having those while long distance cycling, it feels quite stuffy to eat those. Feel like they're very chocolatey and the kind of stuff they have. Personally feeling, I don't feel comfortable having the entire bar at one time. Right? Probably 30 to 40 grams is what the weight of the bar comes out to be. Are they digestible so soon? Because these are obviously processed food, not the raw food. And should we avoid that and go more towards dates and gels?
See, it's one is luxury. Like I said, runners do not have the luxury of carrying so much stuff in their shorts. They'll probably have to carry some gels. So, but as a triathlete, you are a Ironman athlete. You have that bag, so you can carry whatever you want. Make the size bigger if you don't worry about going arrow or going faster. Carry पूरा bag ले लो अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है. Carry everything that you like. But that's on the lighter side. But see, you can try different types of bars. When you joined late, we discussed this earlier that it's a good practice to have a nutrition bar, which you can practice. There are various brands. There are chocolatey ones also. Do not have bars which are let's say Cadbury and all, because they tend to melt. So and they are too sugary. So avoid that. You can try Nature Valley. They are all flavorless ones. So you can try muesli bars also. You can try max protein के कुछ bars आते हैं, nutrition bars. So they are not very sugary in texture. You can try those. Nutrition bar by default have good combination of monosaccharides and disaccharides. You'll have to practice 5-6 different brands and see आपको क्या suit कर रहा है. What are you liking? It's always good to have peanuts or something in between so that वो मुंह का taste change होता रहे. Yeah.
That's good idea. So if I go by the logic of 60 to 90 grams per hour of racing, 35
Yeah.
grams come from your Univit this gel, fastened
Yeah.
up gel, and the rest to be covered by the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah, yeah. You
Basically,
can
that's
also
it.
carry dates and all. That's fine. When you are on the bike for 3 to 6 hours, dates are also fine. But if you are running a marathon, some of it is fine because 3-4 hours bhag rahe ho. तो आपके depend करता है, what you can carry. This is again like I said in the right at the beginning, sports nutrition and recovery is a part of daily training, which nobody does. Very little number of people do, and this is something that you have to keep practicing and see, what combination works best for you.
Right, Nishant. Got it. Right, thank you.
Any other questions on carbs?
Nishant, one question.
Yeah.
As I have diabetes, which is at the borderline, and it has always been said, that consuming more of bananas is not good. Then, in that terms, what else should be consumed?
Anjan, right?
No, Amit.
Amit. Okay. So Amit, in this particular case, I would recommend, there are a couple of things that you can do. One is that you can try practicing the CGM, the sensors which are coming these days from Ultra Human or Sugar.fit. See if that works for you. It will tell you what foods that you're consuming brings a spike in your glucose levels. Now, what these CGMs, continuous glucose monitoring systems, also tell is that during a long distance endurance event, you will by default see a lot of spike in your glucose levels because your body itself is trying to churn out as much glucose as possible through your energy reserves and some of it through what you're consuming. In this case, probably papaya and all will work best for you. I would also recommend that you reach out to a qualified nutritionist, sports nutritionist, so that they can chart out a specific diet, specific products for you. I do not want to sort of, make statements here, but CGM is something that I would recommend. It's try it for a month or so. It will probably give you more insights as to what you should be consuming, what gives a spike in your sugar levels. Also consult a doctor or a qualified sports nutritionist for this.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. So moving on. Yes, sodium and potassium. Now, we discussed about this slightly earlier. Sodium and potassium are so important, in terms of avoiding cramps, avoiding bloating. They help in quick recovery as well. Too much loss of potassium will cause you dizziness, and in extreme cases cause people to have strokes as well. In mild cases, you will have cramps if you have low sodium and potassium levels. It also affects if you have some kind of underlying cardiovascular disease. A drastic change in your sodium and potassium levels will cause your blood pressure levels to go up or go down drastically. So this particular element, which is normally missed out in most of the athletes' diet, sports nutrition diet chart, and hence here only one rule is there. There are one product from Unived salt tablets are there. 3 things I'll tell you before we go deeper into how much you should actually be consuming. Normal, optimal range essentially is 4 to 8% of your carbohydrates, meaning let's say आप 60 to 90 grams or let's say for example 100 grams carbohydrates consume कर रहे हो during 1 hour, you should be consuming 40 mg to 80 mg of your sodium and potassium. But it's obviously very difficult to measure it like that. So what you have to do is have products like salted peanuts, or some kind of you add salt in your bottle itself before heading out, half a pinch of salt. But all of these things, end up miscalculating your salt consumptions. So a good practice, a general rule is consuming a salt tablet during your run. One for a general rule, 1 per hour. But if you are a very, very heavy sweater, if you sweat like 1 hour you run and you're sweating like crazy, your entire your sweat rate is above 700 to 800 ml per hour, which we discussed earlier. In that case, you can consume 2 salt tablets per hour, meaning 1 in every 30 minutes. But if you are a very low sweater, your sweat rate is anywhere between 400 to 500. In this case, you can have 1 tablet every 2 hours. So essentially, again, you can take a screenshot of this, but again, like I said, people try to do different kind of calculations. Koi apni bottle mein namak dal dega. Some people will, in some races, you might have seen that at mile 20 or kilometer 18, randomly koi namak leke khada hota hai aur saath mein ye oranges leke khada hota hai, to log khade wahan se kuch bhi namak leke kha lete hain, thinking that it will help. It's probably too late. Salt, again, like I said, has to be consumed and maintained optimally. Otherwise, what will happen is you will start having bloating if you have way too less or way too much. Salt has this property that too much salt will make you retain water in the body. But if you have less salt, it will also sort of cause you to extra water will cause you to get your salt dissolved out of the body, and you might sort of start peeing too much and lose a lot of salt. If you follow this one general rule, which is 1 salt tablet per hour, again depending on your sweat rate, you will observe that right after your race also, your urine test, we call it, your urine would not be too yellowish. If your salt levels were optimal in the body, there will be mild yellow because you do the 2, 3, 4 hour workout. But if you had too less salt, you will have dark yellow, which means dark yellow urine, which means you have already lost a lot of salt out of your body. So that's a thumb rule. If you have 1 salt tablet per hour, and let's say in a 4-hour workout you finished 3 to 4 salt tablets, your recovery would also be faster because your salt levels were already optimal in the body. All right. So this is a general rule. Again, not getting too much complexity, not bringing too much complexity, because like I said earlier, after 2 to 3 hours, a lot of sense, decision-making capabilities start to come down. So hence, it's always good to have a general rule ki 1 ghante mein itna khana hai, ye karna hai. So that will help you. Any questions on this? Univet product is there. Personally, I use it. You can try it too.
I have one question. Sometimes we feel dizziness, right? So that is also because of salt, or is what might be
most likely, yes, because of loss of potassium.
Okay.
You might have some people feel conged. Suddenly you can't move. You feel like there is a wall in front of you. That mostly happens because of potassium and a bit of sodium as well. If there is too much loss of potassium in your body, that's primarily the reason. There could be other reasons also, how much you slept and all that, but generally.
Thanks.
Nishant?
Yes.
These Univet salt tabs and these Fasten Up salt tabs, are both of them same?
Fasten Up salt tabs, I don't
think. Fasten Up the other tablets that they have.
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
Yes, they are, but I would. It does not have a lot of potassium content, and hence I said you can have 2 tablets of reload in your hydration mix, but keep the salt separate. It'll help you supplement your potassium needs. Sodium does get taken care in the reload side of it. There's no harm. What a small hack which I use is while running marathons, I carry this Tic Tac. Aapko pata hai na? Small chiclets. So they have a small pack, like a very small one. You can literally fit 4 Univit tablets into it. So it does not even become bulky in my running shorts. So just a small one, and you can carry like 4 tablets. So I know exactly 1 per hour khana, and 4 hours mein I'll be sorted.
So Nishant, this tablet we have to take like, toffee, or should we have to mix it in the water?
You can mix it in the water.
Along with electrolyte.
Yeah. You can mix it in electrolyte also. It's just that because it's a tablet form, it takes some time to dissolve, to break down, and that outer covering to dissolve. So it's okay to just pop and have some water and just be done with it, rather than you can do both though. There's no problem.
Okay, so we have to take it like a tablet and we have to gulp it, not like,
That's ideal, but you can put it in a bottle also. It will take some time for it to dissolve. That outer plastic, edible plastic covering, that takes some time. It's not plastic essentially, but it takes some time for it to break down and get dissolved in the bottle.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So this is about protein. Now, this particular slide is not for during the workout or during race. All right. This is about post workout and some bit of general guideline into pre-workout also. So it carries information about your protein, your fat, and your carbs. Now, we've already discussed about carbohydrates, so we'll skip that. Let's come to protein. Most of you guys are in the heavy training to moderate to heavy training, meaning you are working out anywhere between 1 to 2 hours per day. So a general rule for consumption of protein is, if your weight is, let's say 50 kilos, so 1 gram per kg of weight is how much protein you should be consuming in a particular day for your body to maintain its day-to-day functioning and help you in repair of all the problems that you've caused because of your excess workout. So let's say like I said, if your weight is 50 kilos, you should be consuming at least 50 grams of protein per day. 50 grams of protein meaning, let's say if you consume eggs, a full boiled egg would have 6 grams of protein. So you can have 3 to 4 eggs in a particular day. That will be about 24 grams. If you drink milk, a glass of milk will have about 8 to 10 grams of protein. You can have 2 glasses of milk. You can have dals. You can have chicken, whatever you like, So 50 grams for your 50 kg of weight. If you are 80 kilos, consuming 80 grams of protein obviously is challenging. So hence, I also recommend that if you can have a vegan-based protein or some kind of protein which you, whey protein which you are consuming from outside, 1 gram, 1 scoop of whey protein is about 30 grams of protein. You can have that also within 30 minutes of your finishing your workout. That will help in quick repair and absorption. If you have whey protein or anything later than 30 minutes of your workout, then your body is deprived of nutrients which are required for quick repair. अगर आप वर्कआउट खत्म करने के बाद 1 घंटा 2 घंटा कुछ खा नहीं रहे हो, प्रोटीन नहीं खा रहे हो, you're not having nutritious meals, you're not having fats, you are depriving your body, and that recovery time again goes much higher, becomes higher. So you should look at consuming some kind of, like my go-to foods post a workout are a BCAA mix, which we'll discuss, a protein shake within 30 minutes of workout. And I also like papayas because papayas are light on stomach. I'm not giving too much to my body and to my stomach to break down, but it's also giving me requisite vitamins. So I consume all these vitamins 30 minutes within the workout after finishing my workout. If you are doing a full Ironman training, if you are doing heavy training, you should be looking at consuming at least 1.5 grams protein per kg weight. let's say my weight is 80 kilos, so I should actually be consuming 120 grams because I'm training for a full Ironman. If you're training for a full marathon also at a particular intensity and speed, I would also recommend that you consume about 1.5 grams of protein during your 3 to 4 month period. Other days you can bring it down to half a kg or 1 gram protein per kg of weight. Most Indian diets can help you supplement protein intake, but you'll have to consume a lot of dals. One katori of dal would have about 10 grams of protein, 10 to 15 grams, depending on the serving size. So if you want to consume 60 grams or 80 grams of protein, you literally have to have like a liter of dal, which is obviously difficult, right? So being averse to plant-based proteins and all is not a right thing when you're on a training program. Otherwise, it's okay. Like people have their thought processes ki whey proteins nahi lene chahiye, they are not good for you and all that. It's okay, to each his own. But as a coach, I can tell you that plant-based proteins are fine. They are good for your body. They become they are not based out of artificial ways which are used by various brands right now. Unived, Fasten Up, Nitrotech, these are some good brands which you can muscle tech, which you can use. And I would recommend you go for plant-based proteins because they're made from, obviously plant-based, and they are vegetarian also. So if you are vegetarian, that will also work for you. And some of them are actually gluten-free also. Some people do not know, gluten allergies and all of that. So that saves you from that as well. Again, fat is again a very essential recovery mechanism, a recovery macronutrient. You should be looking at not consuming more than 1 gram of fat per kg weight every single day. Meaning, अगर आपका weight 80 kilos है, so you should consume only 80 grams. Problem कहाँ पे आती है कि protein content हम सबका कम हो जाता है और fat content बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. एक समोसा खाते हो आप, तो one samosa would have anywhere between 35 to 40 grams of fat. Various Indian diets has a tendency of being high in oil, cooked in too much oil and all of that. That you are consuming probably 2 to 3 grams of fat per kg of weight. This is something that you have to regulate. To measure all of this, I recommend that you use an app called Healthify Me or any other food tracking apps like Noom and all that. What will happen is over a period of 4 to 8 weeks, when you start tracking everything that you're eating and drinking, it becomes a habit, and by default, you will start knowing what food has how much fat, protein, carbs. So it's a good practice. It's an important thing that you establish a good relationship with your food, because ultimately food is something which will regulate your performances, it will regulate your weight, it will regulate your muscles, it will regulate your gut, it will regulate your digestion, sleep, all of that. So it's important that we study something that we spend almost 2 to 3 hours of thinking and doing every single day. We are spending 2 to 3 hours every single day just for eating or thinking about food or consuming food. So it's good, if you can start tracking it, it will give you the knowledge about various types of food groups and macro and micronutrients. So start tracking your food, it will make you a better athlete and an efficient person in general. That's about it from this slide. Feel free to ask any questions on protein and fats.
One query here. So you said dals are good in protein that for the Indian food, right? So traditionally we have a habit of putting a lot of desi ghee or homemade butter in the dal, right? That's how the northern food is typically out. So should we add desi ghee? So traditionally, fathers and forefathers used to add more ghee in your plate, but now that they say that we should not eat less of a ghee because it leads to cholesterol and other things. What is typically
It's a good question. See, I've given you a thumb rule, like if you are training for a marathon or a triathlon or you're any kind of endurance athlete, for a moderate training, 1 gram per kg of weight is good. Of course, if you are consuming katori bhar ke agar aap ghee kha rahe ho and you're breaching your daily limits, it will get converted into fat, which is complex fats which are stored in the body. So your idea to become a endurance athlete and an efficient athlete is that you're utilizing the body weight efficiently and you're consuming foods which are helping to make you efficient. बुराई किसी चीज की नहीं है, but you know they have good fats also and they have bad fats also. If you have too high triglycerides because you're consuming 3 to 4 chammach of ghee, probably not a right practice. But if you are consuming 1 to 2 spoons of ghee every day, that's a good practice. So you know it's just about the quantity and measuring. That's why I'm telling you that you measure everything that you're eating. Over a period of 2-3 months, you will develop a good relationship with food, and you also know what you are, consuming.
That's fair. Like actually, I'm tracking also on the Healthify also, but tracking a spoon of ghee in the dal is not getting tracked. You track a katori of dal, right? So you said it right. The 1 spoon for the entire day is fair. Is fine.
Yeah. So
that was the question.
We, like I said, we spend 2 to 3 hours every day just for thinking about food or consuming food and आज क्या खाना है, अरे सुबह क्या खाना है, दोपहर को क्या खाना है, हर घर में यही बात हो रही होती है, morning, evening, night, and most of the questions are answered with अच्छा चलो ये कल बनाया था तो आज ये बना लो, परसों वो बना. On a daily basis is fine. But that's not what marathoners are supposed to do. That's not what Ironman are supposed to do. You are an athlete. You have an objective. You want to cross that finish line by working for it for a year or 6 months or whatever, that amount. And if you're not looking at the most essential part of your recovery training, which is in nutrition, then you'll not become an efficient athlete. Then you might not as well, train. Then you can just show up and jo bhi hoga, any result is a good result.
Right. Got your point.
Any other questions on fat and protein?
Nishant, there are certain questions in the comment section if you can pick up.
All right. Santosh, you had said you'll be right back. Were you back?
Yeah, I was back. You had already started, so I did not actually disturb.
Yeah, sure. So Komal is asking, hydration includes only water plus salts, right?
It's already answered.
Yeah. Chandresh should ask, Univit are kind of multivitamin tablets, right? It's not Univit. It's the brand is Unived. And then there are other brands also, Fast Enough, and Nitrotech. Various brands are there. So Unived is a umbrella brand. You would find various types of endurance multivitamin products, salts also, proteins also, gels also. So hydration mix. They have different varieties. I'm not endorsing any particular brand for this masterclass, but general guideline you can look up on Amazon for looking up. I will be coming to that slide also, by the way. Sugu is asking, can we consume before we start the workout? Consume what, Sugu?
Like the protein bars or whatever, because 1 hour you said every 1 hour, right? So when I start the race, can I have?
Yeah. So you so there, that will be very specific to each individual's race. So that's why I'm not getting into it. But ideally, you should have a light breakfast at least 1 to 2 hours before your large block of workout. Large block meaning anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, 5 hours. You should have a proper breakfast, light breakfast, 1 to 2 hours before your race. For a smaller workout, for 1 hour, 1.5 hour workout, you can consume a banana or anything, anywhere between 50 to 80 grams before the start of your workout, for a short workout. For a longer workout, again, like I said, have 200 to 300 grams of breakfast, light breakfast.
So does this
I
differ?
think this was specifically for the protein consumption, like you mentioned, like after 30
Protein
minutes
ideally
of your
have
workout.
after your workouts. It's a complex macronutrient, very difficult for body to break down and consume. You don't want to load up your stomach too much with different types of macronutrients. Keep it simple, have carbs, light fats, proteins post-workout, proteins and fiber post-workout.
Is this the 1 hour 2 hour gap is for all the workouts, or does it differ for swimming? Because swimming is something like where if the stomach is full again, like it'll be more tougher, right? Compared to
Yeah. Before swimming, generally 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes before your swim, you can have one gel. Gel should be fine. A banana is also fine. Santosh's question I've already answered. This slide captures that. All right, so moving on. Okay, this is a slide. This is not a medical advice or recommendation. This is just my personal consumption, which I use when I'm on a high training diet. Again, I'm not recommending it to any particular person. Don't quote me. This is just my recommendation because I'm not a qualified doctor. So, but this is what I consume. Sodium and potassium we already discussed. Magnesium is something, again, there is a product from Fasten Up called Magnesio. Magnesio helps in post recovery. It helps your muscles to calm down, helps in a good regulated sleep also. That's what I consume. Calcium and D3 is recommended in cycles of 30 days to 45 days. You should consume 30 to 45 days and stop it for 15 days. Again, don't quote me, guys. It's not a medical recommendation, just what I consume. Most Indians, in fact, before you get onto this journey of consuming dietary supplements, you should ideally be doing a vitamin analysis test done. Most of my athletes do it right at the beginning. They share their reports also with me, or I recommend doing that 3 months before the race, the A race. You can do a vitamin analysis test done and general cardiovascular and the regular blood checkup done. So that will help you to understand what deficiencies you have in your body. Most people have deficiencies for calcium, especially Indians have a deficiency in calcium and B12. Most of us have. So it's always good to consume calcium and B12 if you have a deficiency. If it's all right, then you should not. But again, not a medical recommendation. Omega-3, omega-6, again, good for your joints. It is good for recovery. It is good for muscle health, muscle recovery. Pre and probiotics are good for your gut health. Gut is known as the second brain of the body. Our gut has a trillion, bacteria. They are responsible for our digestion. They are responsible for our storage, the acidity levels. They are responsible for gas level. They are responsible for consumption of all types of products that we consume or macronutrients in the body. So this is essentially what a high performing, high training, high load triathlete or a marathoner consumes. This is not a medical recommendation, but this is what is recommended for people who are preparing for full Ironmans or ultra marathons or marathons.
Nishant, this vitamin D3 and calcium, like for calcium, taking lots of milk, if I talk specifically about me, three glasses of milk per day, does that cover calcium needs, or do we look for
that
additional?
answer will be given when you get your vitamin analysis and calcium analysis done. If you have been consuming a lot of milk, and hopefully should not be there. D3 obviously is not produced naturally in the body. You require a lot of sunlight. So most of us are indoors all the time. Our exposure to sun is very low. Most of us are deficient in D3. So just get your calcium analysis done, and you will get calcium and vitamin analysis done, and you'll get a lot of sense as to what are deficiencies that you have in your body.
Okay.
And again, these only basis the recommendation of a qualified doctor. This is a advisory which is just for people who are on a high volume training.
Right, Nishant, right.
Any questions on dietary supplements? All right, moving on. All right, so this brings us to the end of sports nutrition and a bit of recovery from nutrition. All right, so I hope you guys have understood the different macro and micro nutrients which affect our body as an athlete. We have covered hydration, we have covered sweat rate, we have covered proteins, we have covered fats, we have covered carbohydrates, and we have covered dietary supplements. Hope you guys have some sense of, some knowledge and execution level practices that you can imbibe in your training now. We'll move to the next segment, which is recovery. Recovery is super important. I strongly feel that no matter how hard, fast, or long you can go, but if you can't recover properly and show up the next day, you will be only half as good as an athlete as you possibly can. So hence, that brings us to the next segment, which is recovery. It starts by priming your body. What does priming mean? Priming is essentially priming essentially means getting your body ready for the load which is going to come during your workouts or races. So what you have to do is essentially fire up the systems in your body by working on your mobility, by getting your nervous system ready, by getting your cardiovascular system ready. And how do you do it? First and foremost, overlooked thing is obviously a 10-minute warm-up and cool down. Priming starts right before you start your actual workout. It's not just about, आज ये target मिला है तो मैं जाके बस करके आ जाऊंगा. You should ideally be adding 5 minutes before your workout and 5 minutes after. If you can do 10 minutes each, that's even better. But 5 minutes is something that's the bare minimum which you should be looking at before you start. How you start it is by warming up, by consuming pre-workout foods like maybe a coffee that helps waking up by giving you some bit of extra caffeine in the body, which just activates some of the adrenaline in the body, telling your body that a load is coming up. You can start with stretches. We used to do this workouts head to toe stretch, starting right at your head, moving your head in circular motions clockwise and anti-clockwise, then moving your shoulders clockwise, anti-clockwise, your upper body, upper back, lower back, then activating your glutes, activating your legs, ankles. And trust me, this goes a long way in avoiding injuries. Most of the times, we are all sitting in a posture which is, reclining towards forward. We are always looking at our laptops or our phones. Our necks are in a way putting 3 to 5 times of our neck ka weight onto our neck. That kind of force is being put. Our bodies are not what they used to be for our ancestors, right? They were always ready to go to war. Look at us. We are always reclining. We are always watching TV or some kind of screen. Our minds are always occupied. We are not primed to get into a high intensity workout or even a medium intensity workout. So you have to wake up your body. How do you wake up your body? First of all, it starts the night before. You have to make up your mind कि अरे मुझे सुबह 5:30 यहाँ के लिए ये करने के लिए जाना है. So your target should be set for tomorrow. Your mind should be primed in a way कि सुबह उठ के ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि first of all your body is not fully woken up, right? You're looking for 10 different things. Your socks is in different room. Your shoes is in different room. Your kit is different placed somewhere else. It's a very basic thing which I'm telling you, but This helps in getting your mindset ready that tomorrow I have to do this. So the night before, 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock, my kit and my target for the day should be ready. Same goes for your races, same goes for your day-to-day practice. And trust me, races should never be treated as a special day out of the ordinary. Because if you try to do 10 new things just for the race day, which you have not practiced before, you will end up forgetting 2 or 3 small little things. Iska pin reh gaya, आपका socks, वो particular आपकी lucky जो socks थी वो रह गई, आपका bib रह गया. These are things which you have to practice every single day. Your nutrition, your reload, your salt. There are 7, 8 things, which you have to keep ready, primed the night before, so that the next morning you know exactly, I'll wake up from my bed, I'll go make my coffee, tea, whatever I like, I'll go freshen up, and everything will be ready in that room. I'll just go, change, and out. The time between you waking up from your bed and out on the road should not be more than 30 to 40 minutes. If you are spending 30 minutes by watching your screen in the toilets and doing something random, wasting, after waking up, you've wasted 1.5 hours to get to the workout or whatever that you want to do first thing in the morning. You've wasted that 1.5 hours of head start. So prime your mind the night before, right? Preparation is the key the night before. Have the target set in your mind कि मुझे कल का ये 60 minutes का target दिया, ये 90 का दिया. So this is how I will be ready. This is what I have to do. I've set my watch. I've charged my headphones. I've charged my watch. All of that, these things should be set so that you wake up in the morning with just one goal, which is to go out there, show up, and get it done. And you should not be worrying about making 11 to 13 decisions in the morning. Socks kidhar hai? Acha udhar hogi. Shoes kidhar hai? Ye kidhar hai? Wo kidhar hai? These are unnecessarily wasting your mindset ka decision making powers. If you have to make up 7, 8 decisions right in the morning, don't waste the mental faculties. Just make it a routine, automate it, and you are primed. Whatever pre-workout foods we have already discussed, banana or light breakfast, all of that, whatever that we have discussed earlier, have that set, have it in time, and then just show up. That's how you prime your body, and that's the first step towards having a positive workout, pre-workout and post-workout also. We'll come to the post-workout side of it, but this was the priming of your body, getting it ready for the workouts that are coming up or the races that are coming up. Make sense? Very simple, basic, but it's all about discipline. Okay. 1 second, please. So any questions on priming your body?
I follow the same that head to toe workout that we for them used to follow in classes, and works well for me. Yeah.
For sure.
One thing I want to check. So that workout, does it increase your body warmth level? Should I say that way, or increase your heart rate, right? So should we also add your jumps in that?
Should we also
add the PT jumps, like small jumps?
Yeah. Whatever works, just get your heart rate moving from a resting heart rate of 60 beats per minute, bring it to 110, 120, and let your body do the rest, the intensity of your workout. The idea of priming or pre-workout is that you bring up your heart rate, get your body ready for the load which is coming up. So, skipping is good, stretching is good. Generally just activates some of the resting, body parts. It helps your body to basically be ready.
So the reason of asking this, Nishant, was
like
when I start now from like few meters from my place, probably you may talk about 200 meters. So there's a slant up. I start my morning run with a slant up, and then there is slant down. Right? And sometimes when slanting up, I feel like thoda thak gaya hu. It's just 200 meters.
Run in the opposite direction and then come back. Na?
In both ways, it's slanting up only for 200 meters and then it goes down.
Fine.
Then I
You're
was thinking to add.
reaching in the priming much faster.
Okay.
All right. So here's I've tried to see there are 20 things that you can do for your recovery. What does recovery mean? First of all, recovery means that you bring your body to the resting state in a way that you get it ready for all the breakdowns that you've put on your body by two things. One is food. Second is external recovery, and your body should be coming back to the same resting level in a way that it has already become stronger, but also broken down. You will be only be able to build more muscles or more speed after you've breached the current levels, right? So you have to, after every workout or race, you should be if you started at, let's say, 10, after the workout, you should have reached probably 15, but in the recovery stage, you come back to 11. Then you start the next day at 11, go to 16, then come back to 11 and a half. That's how slowly, gradually you start becoming a better athlete, but also recovering quickly. You were at a level 16 where there was a lot of wear and tear. You utilized all your energy systems, you broke down the muscles, you lifted some weight, or did speed workouts or interval trainings that broke your current levels, brought it to the next level, but you have to then bring it down the same in next 12 to 24 hours. Some recovery will be within 6 to 12 hours, some will require 24 hours, some recoveries require 2 to 3 days, 4 days also. Here are some of the pre and post recovery rituals. The first one, of course, we have discussed a 10-minute warm-up and a cool down, essentially activating your glutes, your upper body, lower body, your ankles, your knees. These things, if you do not warm up, what will happen is there is inherent friction in our muscles. We have to sort of release that. There is inherent nitrogen also. There are enough inherent, nicks and knacks. But when you start stretching, the muscles start getting released, and when you start warming up, then you start getting in the priming zone. Foam rolling usually people do after the workouts, but foam rolling before the workout, the night before, also helps your body to be sort of relaxed and get ready. So you can do a 10-minute foam rolling before the big workout, especially like a 2-hour plus kind of a workout. Release your joints, release your muscle groups, make them light. And then when you sleep for 6 to 8 hours on top of it, your body would be far more relaxed. So if you can do a foam rolling before a long workout the night before, you'll be much better placed and more relaxed. Of course, 20 minutes foam rolling is a must for all my athletes. It's already inbuilt in the program. I put it, a lot less people actually put, complete target versus actual, but I know that, it's being done. This is for your own good, of course. It helps you to release your muscle groups, release the tension, the niggles in, small little things, which a breakdown process which happens for every athlete. 20-minute foam rolling works like magic. It will help you to avoid so many injuries. IT band is a normal injury because of your increasing volumes. Some people feel problems in their piriformis. People have issues in their glutes. People have issues in their under leg. So these are things which you can literally avoid just by a 20-minute foam rolling twice a day. There is a product called Hyperice massage gun, then Normatec. These are percussion guns, which also are effective tools for an athlete. I'll actually show you one. Yeah, if my screen is visible, the video is visible. This is a Hypervolt Go. This is about a kilo, I think kilo and a half in weight. I carry this with me everywhere I go. I can actually, I'm in Chandigarh right now, and I carry this with me everywhere. 5 minutes before my workout, I prime my body by using the massage gun. And then 10 to 15 minutes before sleeping also I use it. It helps in releasing and the sore muscles. It helps in delaying, avoiding the DOMS, which is a very common muscle soreness issue, delayed onset of muscle soreness, which means that when you did a 2, 3, 4 hour kind of a workout, sometimes you have the pains not immediately, but it starts in the evening or the next day. That's a delayed onset of muscle soreness, which remains with you for 2-3 days. This ideally happens with people, normally happens with people who did not take care of their priming as well as the salt intakes. If you had too many cramps also, these people will experience DOMS kind of an issue very regularly. But people who have followed the nutrition advice which I just gave you, you will not ideally have these. So a massage gun helps. If you have the budget, there is a product called Normatec. It costs around 1 lakh, I think 1.1 lakhs. That's an amazing product. You put it up on your legs, you put it up on your upper arm, back and all that. 20 minutes into a Normatec, it has I think a technology which helps you to give the right mix of hot as well as cold treatment, which helps in quick muscle recovery. A simple alternative to this is if you did a 1.5 to 2 hour kind of a workout, if you are facing any kind of pain in your knees or ankles, just ice your particular spot. Ice it for 10 to 20 minutes and you should be good to go. That swelling and all will come down. And it's also a good practice. Icing is a good practice. I've put it down at number 9 also here. Icing generally every single day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes on your problem areas. It's a good alternative. So you should ideally have 2 ice packs always in your freezer. Keep it wherever you go, take it along. It's a good way to recover quickly. 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes icing on a particular spot is good way to bring down the soreness as well as any swelling that you might have. Also a good recommendation which I've been using for many years is having a deep tissue massage twice a month. You guys can find out a sports masseuse near your home. You can do urban clap, order from urban clap, whatever your budget suits. If your budget is high, you can go to the fancy spas also, that's fine. But try to have 2 massages a month, a deep tissue massage, a light tissue massage, a Swedish massage, whatever works. A deep tissue massage works. Get it twice a month. As an endurance athlete, it will do wonders. If you can do weekly, that's even better. For example, you might have seen cricketers, they always have their physio with them. They always have a masseuse with them and they get massages after every match. Those are not ideally deep tissue massages, but they are like lighter massages, but it does wonder. It will avoid so many injuries right much before they even happen. Or even if you've put too much stress also in your body, that stress gets released out of your body. 2 massages a month, ideal for anyone who's doing a half marathon kind of a training, helps greatly. A word of caution here, do not go with the masseuse in the parlors who are not trained. Do not get it done from untrained. There are men, women, aunties, uncles, there are 200-300 rupees may they come to your house and they just break your body in the name of massage. Even these saloons and all, they would shake your the neck and all that in a way that feels like kuch release ho raha hai, but it's not. It's very dangerous. Do not go to people who are not trained masseuse, right? Go for trained people, even if it costs you 500 or whatever extra, it's fine. Do not go to untrained people. They might end up harming you or breaking some kind of a muscle in your body or causing some kind of injury which will show up much later. So word of caution there. Another simple but amazing, effective couple of tools which I always carry with me is a tennis ball and a foam roller. You should always carry it with you if you are going to stay in a particular place for a long period of time. A foam roller, again, we discussed, order a foam roller for yourself. A soft, medium to soft foam roller. Don't go for the hard foam roller because that might cause issues in softer muscles, which you might have overused or injured after a long workout. So ideally order a medium to a softer foam roller. I use a brand called Diablo. It is available on Amazon. You can order it, Diablo. This is my third foam roller in last 3 years from the same brand. Works for me. A tennis ball, for a tennis ball massage under your feet, helps greatly. A tennis ball also helps in releasing your piriformis issues, issues that you have in your glutes. Just a 2-3 minute, 5-minute massage through a tennis ball on your buttock muscles helps greatly. It will release any of your issues in your glutes. Cyclists, long distance cyclists often have piriformis issue because of long sitting on the bike or not the right bike fit. So you can also use a tennis ball for releasing your piriformis. Of course, there are issues. There are exercises that you can search online or your physio can also recommend. Another thing, obviously, protein shake and fat-based meal we've already discussed. Consume it within 30 minutes of your intense workout. Helps greatly. Otherwise, it's like too little, too late if you consume after 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Compression tights. This is something, again, I recommend compression socks or compression tights. This is something that you can order. There are decent brands out there. There is a brand called CEP SEP. They are a Swiss company which has specialized in making these compression tights and running sleeves and running compression socks also. I recommend that you use them during your long runs or rides also and post your workouts also. They will help in making your blood circulation much faster and helps in recovery. You will not have DOMs. Your recovery will be faster. Some of the products from SEP are on the higher side, like 4,000-5,000. Their compression tights are about 10,000, but worth an investment. They will last you for like years. It's a good alternative to expensive, tools also. But I recommend that you go for it. Of course, you are in the sport for years, right? My recommendation is always that you do it for the fun of it. Do it for the next 50 years. Plan for the next 50, 60 years. These are good investments to make. Go for it. We've already discussed about magnesium. BCAA is a type of a protein which helps in quick recovery. BCAA is normally not found in any of the food products. So you might have to consume it from outside. There are BCAA recover tablets from Fasten Up. It is available in Univid also. It is available in Nitrotex also, Whey also. Various products have that. Post your workout, have a scoop of BCAA or tablet of BCAA and it's good to go. Quickly for recovery, magnesium, again, we've discussed. Last but not the least is sleep. There is nothing like sleep. This is probably the most underrated, most disturbed recovery ritual which is happening to all of us. All of us are so tensed, so overworked that we do not even get a quota of 6 to 7 hours of sleep. 8 hours is obviously a luxury for most of us. Quick show of hand, how much or comments, how much you sleep. Put in the comment section, how much do you normally sleep? Fire that up, chat section. Aditya sleeps for 7, Santosh sleeps for 7, 6. Usually 6 means probably 5. 5, 6.5. Mohit 6. Komal 6, Asham 6 to 7, 7. See, that's what I'm talking about. 6, 7. the kind of loads that you guys, all of you, girls and boys, you've been putting your body, you should ideally be sleeping 8 hours a day. I know it's a luxury few of us can afford, but if you can get into the bed by 9 o'clock, avoid any devices, and try to sleep till about 5, you are good to go. You would not need half of these things which I've just discussed if you can just start catching up on 8 hours of sleep. At a bare minimum, 50 to 52 hours of sleep a week should be your target. That helps in removing all the toxins from your mind, your gut health, your body. But I know that this is something which does not happen. Try to do at least 50 hours of sleep. If you can work for 60 to 70 hours for someone or for your businesses, 50 hours is the minimum that you can take out for your sleep. Will help greatly, not just your physical recovery, but also your mental recovery. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is time. As promised, we have just exceeded 1 minute over the stipulated time for sports recovery, sports nutrition and recovery segment. We will now discuss 2 more bonus slides or bonus topics, which I'd mentioned in the mail as well. One is, let me stop the screen first, and then we shall discuss. Let's come back to the recovery segment. Do you have any questions regarding what we just discussed?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
So I was just checking the Univit salt capsule.
Yeah.
But I think there are 2 types of salt capsules are given. One, it's written as electrolyte replacement. And
Yeah.
One more, 1 second.
One is an actual tablet.
One is electrolytes replacement. One is caffeinated salt capsule.
Yeah.
Which one to take? I mean,
the second one is a tablet, which I had just recommended.
This is caffeinated one.
Yeah, caffeinated or plain ones are also there, whatever you like.
Both the packs, it's written as electrolyte replacement. So is it fine? I mean,
yeah, both are fine.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Amit has a question on recovery.
Nishant, I do the pre and the post stretches, which is required, is a must. But what I'm facing right now is when I start my runs, specifically for runs, not for swimming and cycling. Specifically for runs, my heart rate within the next 10 minutes is about 145. It's near to around 150. How do I get it down to around 125, 130?
Okay. That question is out of the purview of what we were discussing, which is sports nutrition and recovery.
Okay.
Probably we'll connect separately, but again, just for the good of everyone who's attending, and I'm sure heart rate question comes to a lot of people. See, to each his own. First of all, how my heart rate and zones work for me is different with what it works for others, right? It is a function of how you've been training over the years, what has been your aerobic capacity, what has been your base on your anaerobic capacities also, what kind of workouts are you doing, what kind of sleep did you have. Also, a lot of people make the mistake of measuring their heart rate through their wrist heart rate. No matter what product you're using, this is Garmin 945, you might be using Apple Watch, you might be using any other products which are out there. Wrist heart rate is very different from the chest heart rate. So if you're actually serious about measuring your heart rate, actually invest in a heart rate belt. I particularly recommend using HRM Pro. You can buy a HRM Tri also, that gives Garmin HRM Tri. They are very accurate. The heart rate given by your watch would vary mostly by at least anywhere between 15 to 30 beats per minute. So you will start seeing a lot of difference when you invest in a heart rate monitor. So there are various factors which affects a particular person's zones to be changed. Eventually, your zones will start coming down if you do more of your high intensity training. If you do a lot of interval training, tempo runs, fartleks, all of these things, speed works, and also training into slow zones, running slower also helps in improving your heart rate. So that's very generic answer to a specific question. So we might have to take it separately, and I'll have to look at long-term data also when you start training.
Nishant would love to attend a session if you keep it on the same.
Okay. Recommendation. Feel free to recommend if you have any other masterclass suggestions also. Yes. Anything on recovery?
Nishant, on recovery, I have a query and I have a doubt in my own head. What kind of stretches are advisable during post-run or like post-recovery? So once I generally do 15 minutes of YouTube post-cycling or post-running stretches that include pigeon pose and quite strong stretches.
Just the fact that you are investing 10 minutes post your run after you've accomplished the target, most people just run home. So there are plenty of exercises you of all should know, na? You've been training with me for last 2 years. I've shown you like tens of them. There are many exercises available on Trifantry YouTube channel also, and feel free to search it online. YouTube will have like maybe 1 million videos on this.
The query, Nishant, specifically if I talk about the query, is it my thought says that post, let us say I run for 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, post 15 kilometers of run, 10 kilometers run, should we not stretch too much because the muscles are like stretched or muscles are already tight? So we should avoid too much stretching.
Do the basic stretches, the yoga stretches, sit down in the Indian toilet position, or just do rotation exercises. Don't need to do high intensity. I would not recommend doing foam rolling right after your workout because your muscles are already sore. You should do foam rolling probably in the evening. If you're worked out in the morning, give a 10-12 hour kind of gap. Don't do it immediately. This massage gun which I showed you earlier, this is a good on speed one. It helps. So general very light stretches and massages, yoga, various yoga poses you can do, Surya Namaskar and all that, basic ones, they are very helpful.
Right. So got it. Not advisable for your the foam rolling, but stretches are okay.
Yeah.
Nishant, Manu this side, if you have an event spread over, say, a fortnight, which is every day, like you got to get up every morning and you got to do an 8-hour or a 10-hour cycle. In the recovery leg, any particular focus areas which must be part of it because it's a daily event and it is going to be strenuous?
Number one is sleep. Try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day. The night before, like you would have worked out from morning, assuming 6 to let's say 2, 3, and then there would be some time. In the evening, you should ideally be doing light foam rolling. Maybe carry this massage gun with you. A bit of icing, and before you start your workouts every day, try to stretch for 10 minutes and post your workouts also, or just, when you're taking breaks at dhabas and all, just stretch a little bit here and there. All of that will help mid workouts also. During your mid workouts, you can carry there is a small roller which is available in Decathlon. It's a stick, roller stick, which you can carry with yourself. Probably ask your fellow cyclists to massage your quads, your glutes and all with it, and then you also help them with rolling those stick roller on the buttock muscles and your quads. And all. Just try to get some sleep, and good food. All of that will help. In fact, icing will also help if you have any issues in your knees and all.
Done. Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay. moving to the last slide, which is about building winning mindset, about habits of a general guideline on habits of athletes, and something that I think will be useful to you. Again, very generic in nature, which is the kind of habits which will help you to become a successful athlete. And last but not least, having a coachable mindset. What is coachability? So I'll just present one last slide. Okay. So I strongly feel that, inspiration is temporary. Inspiration will come and go. You might listen to a nice rocking music or some kind of music which will pump you up, or watch some movie कि आज मैं कारगिल चढ़ जाऊंगा. I will do this. I will watch. You might have seen that movie 50 by Iron Cowboy. 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 states. You might have seen some Fight Club or some movie. You will have a shooting star of inspiration, just like this, but that fades away. But what doesn't fade away is the discipline. It's the habits, that is the primary difference between champions and also rans. That's the difference between the people who go on to win Olympic medals or finish probably 50 Ironmans or 100 marathons versus people who just showed up and did something and probably took a medal home and they're happy. Habits is something that you have to build if you want to become a successful athlete. Also, build longevity into your sports. Trust me, if you are attending this and if you are under my tutelage, I will always tell you that tomorrow I may not be there as your coach. Tomorrow, these races may not be there. You may or may not want to be, you will have different phases of life. You will have different goals in life. You will have different stages of your personal life also. But if you are looking to get into endurance sport, think from 50 to 60 years from now. Let's say you are 40, 45. You still have 60 years to live, right? And what will you do after you turn 60? You will have all the money. If you continue to work out, you probably will have your health also. And most importantly, you will have so much time at your hand. If you do not utilize your time by pursuing your passion, let's say fitness could be one of your passions, and then you would have other passions also in life. Build a mindset of looking at this sport or any other sport from 50 to 60 years. That's how you will be able to build longevity, because then the small little wins will matter in the short term, but you will also start looking at it from a long-term perspective. This is something that you should build from the perspective that it gives you joy and happiness, and not just do it for medals. Because I'll tell you what, after you get your 15th medal or 18th race you finished, it's not about races anymore. It's just about having that rhythm in life, just waking up in the morning, having a target, a routine, just showing up and doing it for the joy of running, the joy of cycling, joy of swimming, or any other sport. It's a very rudimentary thing which I'm telling you, but this is the mindset that you should be approaching this sport or anything else in life. But particularly this sport, this is very personal. Trust me, when you invest in your health or your personal goals, you're actually being selfish, but being selfish will help you to become a better father, a better family man, a better professional in life. Because if you're taking care of your own body, your mental health, your physical health, then only you will be able to take care of your family, your society, your professional, your company, and your nation. So it has to start from within. Become selfish for this 1 hour of the day or 2 hours of the day. Build that mindset, and also have the mindset of doing it for the next 50 to 60 years. Because trust me, my friends, when you reach an age of, let's say 40, 45, you have all the money in the world. You would have, but you will end up losing time and your health. So if you start investing it in this right now, then you start approaching life from a different perspective. Then small little goals like अरे मुझे 5 पे भागना था, नहीं मैंने 5:10 पे भागना है. All of these things will only become better as you age. You know, as they say that old wine becomes better with age. Same is the case with athletes. You know, the more time you spend, your muscles will develop, your heart rate zones will come down, your speeds may go up, your times will improve. Only when you start approaching the sport from 2, 3, 5, 10 years perspective, and eventually 50 to 60 years perspective. That's how you build a winning mindset over a long period of time. And one more thing will happen is that you would not need validation from anyone, because you are validating yourself every single day. You start the validation will not come from winning medals or any other, posting pictures online and all of that, and Strava following and Instagram following. This eventually starts giving you validation from yourself, and that's the best kind of validation. So, how will that happen? That will happen by some of the habits which I've listed down. Of course, you can add 10 more habits which will make you a good boy or a good girl. But these are some things which will help you to become a more efficient and better athlete, and a more self-happy kind of a athlete. And hence, if you join the 5 a.m. club, which necessarily just means that you wake up at 4:30, 4:45 and start hitting your workouts at 5:30, or just wake up at 5 o'clock. Trust me, you will not miss any of your workouts. You will not miss your flights. You will not miss any of your personal, targets if you just join 5 a.m. club. Waking up, I've always, said this in various forums, that when you wake up at 5 o'clock, you are creating 2 extra hours over a normal person. Because let's say most people wake up at 7, you are waking up at 5, you've already added 2 hours to your day, which means you have already, increased the number of hours in the month for yourself. You're adding 3 extra days in a month for yourself. You're already ahead of everyone else just by joining the 5 a.m. club. That will make you a better athlete because you start doing more of your workouts. If you wake up at, let's say, 7:30, you've already lost the morning. You are now getting ready and rushing for work. World has taken over. You are thinking कि मैं evening में जाके workout कर लूँगा. Trust me, with the lives that we have all built for ourselves, based on work from home, work from office commute, mobiles, personal life, evenings are never in your control. But at 5 a.m., you have all the control in the world, because between 5 to 7, you take care of your own time, and you can get your workouts or your reading, your writing, or whatever that you like to do. You can get it done 5 a.m. and the world is not taken over. Evenings are not yours. Trust me. You will get stuck in traffic or some meeting, some uncalled for, some person comes in, some program is showing up, Netflix, all of that. But 5 a.m. everything gets done. So that's a mark of a good habit. If you can do it 4 a.m., that's even better. Eating clean, of course, we have discussed that. One thing just I would like to add here is that a lot of people would eat clean for 6 days a week, meaning सब कुछ अच्छा करेंगे, अच्छा से खाएंगे, करेंगे, और Sunday को suddenly कुछ ऐसा हो जाएगा कि now I want to, because I worked so hard, let me open the bottle of that whiskey, or that let me drink, उस पे आज beer के ऊपर offer लगा है, या फिर आज cheat day है and all that. Trust me, that does so bad for yourself. First of all, you've undone everything that you did in the 6 days. एक दिन खराब खाने के बाद जब आप 2-3 हजार कैलोरीज कंज्यूम कर लेते हो वो एक सिटिंग में, आपने वो पॉजिटिव जो आपने जो नेगेटिव डेफिसिट किया था वो सारा एक ही दिन में आ जाता है. बिकॉज जब आपको लग रहा होता है ना कि आप ईटिंग डेफिसिट कर रहे हो, तो एक्चुअली बस 200-500 कैलोरीज ही होती हैं पूरे डे में. बट एक चीट मील खाने से आप 1500 to 2000 कैलोरीज आप खा लोगे, मीनिंग 300 कैलोरीज अगर पर डे बचाई थी तो 6 डेज में आपने 1800 कैलोरीज का डेफिसिट क्रिएट किया था और एक ही दिन में आपने वो कंज्यूम कर लिया। तो चीट डेज को मत कीजिए, कम खाइए, चाहे कभी कभी जो भी whatever you want to indulge, have portion control, have it whenever you want to, but don't do these cheat days. They do very little to your reward and recognition system for yourself. Little things matter, meaning we discussed a couple of habits like सुबह रात को सब कुछ सेट करके सोना चाहिए. It's about discipline, you know, it's about planning your route properly, planning your bike. अगर आप बाइक करने जा रहे हो तो आप सब कुछ पहले डिसाइड करो किस रूट पे जाएंगे, एक्स्ट्रा ट्यूब रखेंगे, ये वाली न्यूट्रिशन इस जगह से लेंगे. These small little planning things will help you to automate your decisions, and so you're not making more decisions regarding your workouts. It makes you a better automated athlete. So, you know, plan these things properly the night before. Then you are automating and not using your mental faculties too much for a task which should just involve becoming better, looking at matrices and enjoying, rather than making the tedious process of अरे यार वो ले आता तो ये हो जाता, ये हो जाता तो हो जाता, मैंने निपल का टेप नहीं लगाया तो अब मुझे ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, अब मुझे घर जाना पड़ेगा, और आई हैव butt sores because of sitting on the so I should have applied Vaseline. These are things, पता है आप एक बार क्या करो, आप अपना पूरा प्रोसेस लिख लो, टू डू लिस्ट 10 चीजों की, एंड उसको अपने whatever you know बेड साइड पे या वहां पे लगा के रख लो, और basis the list, tick everything 1 2 3 4 5 6, actually these 10 things I'll need tomorrow, get it set and you know get it out of the system. Fourth, respect is given. If you want to be given respect, you know, you have to earn it. What does that mean? Is that you should respect your equipment, you should respect your fellow runners, you should respect your coaches, your you know, people around you. By that I mean you know, you should wash your sports clothes properly right after you've used them. If you use a bike or a swim, take care of your equipment. When you respect your equipment, your watches, all of these things, they come back to you.
5 मिनट हो रहा है मेरे यार, कपड़े धोते ना इसमें.
Okay, Mohit, you'll have to put
कपड़े धोते नहीं पाए.
So yeah, so I mean, respect meaning, you know, respect your equipment, take care of it. Don't just come back from a workout and throw it everywhere. These things matter, you know, they are part of the discipline. When you take care of your equipment, when you take care of your peers, when you're running and just say a hi, just talk to people, you will start earning respect from the process and people around you. This is a mark of a good athlete. These are just, you know, some separate things which are probably taught in a team sport, but since we are into individual performance sport, these are also things which we can learn from other sports, right? Fifth is trusting the process. Whoever you coach with, whoever you, or you are on a self-coaching program, just trust the process. Don't think that you want to become the fastest in this one workout. Don't do that. Trust the process. Enjoy the process over a period of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. That's how breakthroughs happen. If you want to sort of have quick results, you will have quick injuries. You will be sitting out for longer time than on the field. So just trust the process and read more about it. Probably sometimes your coach may not know a particular area. Discuss that area with that. Have an open channel of communication. That's how you will be able to build relationships, and you will be able to build something that lasts. So that is what slow is built to last. When you build slowly over a period of time, that lasts longer. All right. Seventh is shrugging the fads, the diets, methods, and gadgets. These days, especially people who have been running, let's say Ajay has been running for 10 years, Commander Deepak has been doing all sorts of physical activities for 20 years. So many of you have already, you know, told the group that you guys have been working out for 10, 20, 15 years. You might have seen a barrage of diets, barrage of methods and gadgets coming in the market every single day now. right from running pods to chest belts to glucose, continuous glucose monitoring to this sensor, that sensor, vertical oscillations. While it's good if someone can help you out with navigating all of this, barrage of things, but I think just keep it simple. Just go out for the joy of running. Do not go in fat diets and crash diets and all of that. They do more harm than good. Always consult dietitians or practitioners or qualified nutritionists or qualified coaches for integrating some of these things into your personal programs, because unsupervised use of some of these new diets, new gadgets, new methods might end up harming you, might end up increasing your recovery times, and so on and so forth. So hope that helps in clarifying a doubt about some questions were there when you guys were registering how to use the running pods. Is chest rate, heart rate monitoring better? All of that. So that's why I've tried to cover it here. Keep it simple, guys, as simple as possible. There are already so many complexities involved, so many algorithms which are running our lives now. Let's keep the joy of running, as simple as possible. There was a question about, should I use carbon plate running shoes, Nike Tempo, for becoming faster? That will not make you faster if you've not integrated interval runs to tempo runs and all of those and given volumes in your training. Just the gadgets will not make you better. Gadgets help you, gadgets or methods help you in the last 30%. First 70% is hard work and keeping it simple. These will only start adding 5%, 7%, 10% value as you become better and better. Another simple but important thing is consistency is key. If you are on a 10-hour workout, 6 hours, 8 hours workout, hit 100% of your targets. You have 168 hours in a week. Your training program is just 3 to 4% of that. If you are working out for 8 to 10 hours, 8 hours, you can find time. I have heard all sorts of excuses. I have made a lot of excuses myself earlier, but when I stopped making excuses, I started getting more results. Cliched, but it's true, everyone has a lot of issues. You would always have unforeseeable circumstances, but the important thing is to keep showing up, keep a brave face despite all odds. And on a regular daily basis, the odds are not even that big. Odds are probably, अरे मेरे को ये presentation भेजनी थी, ये करना था, घर का कुछ था. Just get it done at 5 o'clock and you will not have any excuses, right? Second last is setting big giant goals. What does that mean is that if you have been running a 10K for the longest time, please push yourself to do a marathon or a half marathon. Otherwise, why do it? If you have been doing a half Ironman, probably aim for a bigger full Ironman or an Ultraman. What that will help you is that will help you in falling in love with the sports over and over again. If you want to do better races, bigger races, and it's not just about the distance, it could be about time, it could be about location, it could be about a different race, it could be about a different country. So different goals or giant big goals help you to become a better athlete. Otherwise, if there is no growth, why just do it? Of course, do it for the joy and love and all of that. But if Fauja Singh can do it at 104, 105, run so many marathons, you are 70 years younger to Fauja Singh, you can set yourself big goals, right? So just set yourself bigger goals, discuss with your doctors, your physicians, your coaches, and proceed with data and science regarding your goals. Last but not the least, travel with your family, with your crew. You are doing an individual sport. It becomes lonely in training, but at least during the race times, travel with your family, travel with your friends. Seeing you physically be there and culminate into a race when you've crossed the finish line, it gives the joy to them and also makes them more motivated and inspired. Probably you will inspire your wife, your kid, your husband, your friends to take up one of those races. And it's just fun. Take out 2-3 days extra before or after your race and just travel with them. You'll enjoy more. Consciously choose races which are slightly far. For my family, we are into, of course, marathons and triathlons. And Ironman by design gives you the opportunity to travel to 70 countries. They have about 250 races across the world. So every year we decide about 1 or 2 locations. In August, we are going to Estonia. 3 of us are traveling. Santosh is also part of the group who will be doing Ironman Estonia. So we'll be going Estonia. And after that, 10 days of travel with family and friends. We will be exploring Europe. Next year, March, we have a plan to either go to New Zealand or US. So, just gives you purpose to travel instead of just going and showing up as a tourist. Why not be a marathoner? Why not do a Abbott World Marathon Series and go to Berlin, Tokyo, Paris, Boston, New York, all of that, and travel with a purpose. So your family also gets involved. And on a side note, while my wife is there, if you're investing on your expensive gadgets, they'll not mind because they'll know, he or she is actually putting in effort. Especially for people who are in cycling or triathlons, it's a very expensive sport. Half the things you don't even share, that I've bought this and that, though my secret is out now. But just getting in the buy-in from your family and crew helps. So that's the end of all the experience and nuggets I wanted to share with you. These are some of the habits I think will help you to not just focus on other things which you keep focusing on, but the process and systems and coachability and mindset. The forum is open now for discussion. Let's feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to share anything, anything that you like in particular, any incidents you would want to share, or something that resonates with you about the masterclass that we just had.
Very late.
Sorry, your voice.
Entirely.
Hi, Arun. Sorry, you're not audible.
I joined this meeting very late. Okay, I missed most of it. Only the recovery part I happened to hear, not the nutrition part. So can you share this recording so that
I'll try to
go
do
through once?
Sure, I'll try to arrange that for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Ajay.
Okay, for me, I think one of the key things was, while we are doing the pre and post workout, I think the nutrition part of it is where I think I was not 100%, and I think we spoke about it earlier. So I think that resonated very well. And the last slide was something which I have experienced. The 5 a.m. I think that works out really well. It doesn't interfere with anybody at home or at work in most cases. But yeah, I think to build that discipline in the winters in North, that's going to be a little tough, but it works out really nice. Thank you for this.
Sure.
So I think
would like to share something. I think in 2019, when I tried my first full marathon, I hit a wall at 31.8. This was the exact distance that I hit a wall, where I had to take a rickshaw from the point where I was there. So that's how it had happened. And now I have been training with Nishant for this Ironman 70.3, and because I had registered for a 2020 full marathon, which got postponed again because of the lockdowns and stuff, it happened to be during this training. And I did not actually train for a full marathon, but Nishant told me that don't worry about it. You have been training so much, your training levels are high. And he talked about this whole nutrition thing, and he gave me exactly what I have to do And he said, just do this. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about anything. Just enjoy the race. And it worked magically. I just wanted to share that actually the whole thing, I did not know it will work or not work, because of course the experience happened later. I can talk about it now, but the whole thing of how to break down the whole race and consuming this nutrition really made it work. And of course the recovery part that Nishant you spoke about, I think that is something that we have been experiencing. I'm sure it would be really difficult to continue to keep coming back the next morning and continue to do those things. So really resonate the overall. And now looking at it as a package, I think really comes out well in this session now. While I was looking at it in a workout by workout kind of a thing till now. So yeah, great. Thanks.
Anyone has
for
any
me,
questions or anything? Yeah, sorry.
Or shared experience. For me, there are a lot of takeaways in nutrition part, recovery, post-recovery thing. The best thing that actually had the same thing in my mind also, to continue during the longer years of my age and then hitting the 5 a.m. club. Though I'm trying, not able to get on 5 a.m., but that's the next goal now, tomorrow onwards, 5 a.m. A lot of things resonate and gives you guidance and inspiration to get that goal, that the long-term goal of physical fitness, probably 70 years of age, and then you are running free and happy in the life. A lot of things resonate, the entire stuff, the package. I also came late, but from the time I got into the discussion and now it's all engaging and all lots of learning sessions I had. Thanks, Nishant.
Great.
So, Nishant, I could actually relate to a lot of these, pointers that you shared pre-post workout. And, some of it I can actually relate to a lot of these fatigues that I have been having, every once in a while. Of course, lack of structure, diet, hydration, etc. And I think I also remember Santosh telling me about his recovery after the full marathon was so smooth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think thank you for the session. It was really helpful.
Great.
Nishant, me and Chandresh are colleagues in pharmacy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Have we met in Kaban, Chandresh?
Chandresh is from Mumbai.
No.
No.
Okay.
Chandresh is from Mumbai, Nishant.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I hope I could add some value to each of you. I tried to cover, sports nutrition and recovery. And I believe that both of them actually go hand in hand. You shouldn't be looking at any of those separately. And it's about creating a rhythm, right? It's about doing these things on a day-to-day basis so that it becomes your habit rather than doing something just one-off. These things, while I've shared a lot of content also, but it'll only work if you start implementing them rather than just as a theory part of it, because these are all actionables. So hope it adds value to you all. All right. So any more questions? One last question. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone, for taking your time out on a Sunday afternoon. I know it's supposed to be a slumber time. Probably catch up on the sleep time, the time which I mentioned earlier. Now I would have taken up 3 hours of your Sunday slumber, but go ahead, sleep now, and continue to train, endure, and conquer. I'll continue to see some of you on the other side. Happy training, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nishant.
Thanks, Nishant.
Bye.
Thanks, Nishant.
Thanks, Nishant.